everyone, this is Bhagwati and in this video we are going to learn about the topic loops. Loops help us to repeat things instead of writing the same code over and over again. In Python we have two types of loops, while loop and for loop. Let's start with the while loop. Think about it like this. Imagine you are eating a packet of chips. You will keep eating while there are chips left in the packet, and you will stop when the packet is empty. In Python, the while loop works in the same way. It keeps running until a condition given is true. Let's start with an example. If we want to print the numbers from 1 to 5, so the syntax of while loop is while, then whatever the condition. In this example, our condition is I is until the I is less than or equal to 5, this loop should print that number, and then I will be increased by 1. And remember, in while loop we have to define a function before using it in that loop. So let's run, and we got our expected output. So here from this code, our loop starts with this number 1, and it checks that if this condition is fulfilled by this number. If yes, then it will print that number, and that number will be get increased by 1. What if we will not write this step? If we will not write this step, our loop will continue infinite times. So remember to write this condition. Let's do the next question for better understanding. Write a program to print the first 10 natural numbers. So first of all we have to define a variable, then the while, and then condition. Here our condition will be that number should be equal to or less than 10. Then print and I, and remember to increase that number by 1 to avoid infinite iteration of the loops. So here our expected output came the numbers from 1 to 10. Let's go on a slightly trickier problem. Given a positive integer, return the sum of all integers from 1 up to that number. So first of all, here we have to define a function. Then the variable sum and variable of the number, and then our while syntax came. Now here condition will be less than or equal to, number should be less than or equal to n, because we want to print the sum of all integers from 1 up to that number. So inside the loop, every number should get added by in the variable sum, and every time the number should get increased by 1, so that the numbers from 1 to that given number should be added in the sum variable, and at the last return the sum. After defining a function, remember to call that function to check whether the function works well or not. So let's take an example of 3, and from this, first of all it will check that 1 is less than 3, then the sum will get 1, sum variable will contain 1, then 1 will be increased by 2, and then again in this loop 2 will be added in the sum variable, and then 3. So 1 plus 2 plus, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, and here is our output. So in this video we learned about the while loop, and in the next video we will be going to learn about the for loop. So practice as much as problem you can, so to get the better understanding of the while loop. Thank you.